AITA for telling my MIL that she can never see our child if she says anything against me? I am not OOP. OOP is you/remarkable P2170. Originally posted to r/AITA. AITA for telling my MIL that she can never see our child if she says anything against me? Thanks to you/SoeHerter for suggesting this or you. Trigger warnings asterisk and GT, emotional manipulation, classism, anti-vaxxing, and LT. Mood spoilers asterisk and GT, frustrating, and LT. Original post, https://www.reddit.com/r/AITA/s/8x9g2 omixer August 29, 2025. Throwaway account because I'm not a big Reddit user and probably gonna delete the app in like a week, but anyways, I, 26F, have been married to my husband, 27M, for a little over a year now. We met 4 years ago when I was as a student teacher/college student near his favorite pizza place, and we literally met walking on the same street. I've always loved my husband, but the problem is that we were in 2 different tax brackets before getting married. He comes from a family of money and my mom worked 2 jobs growing up. It's literally luck that we met because if the system had their way, I'd be relying on government assistance to live. No offense to anyone who does, considering that's how it was for my mom her entire life. Despite our 2 different backgrounds, he never made me feel less than, and even before we got married he made me feel like his money was also my money. From the moment when I met his mom, she never directly made me feel unwelcome like in the movies, but the way she looked at me or the way she'd make comments disguised as jokes about my college choice really made me feel uncomfortable. I never brought it up, but as me and my husband got more serious, she got worse and soon started making outright rude comments against me, like how I was stupid for going to college for early education because they don't make any money, or would compare me to her other DILs who were nurses or in the business field. My husband has confronted her about it multiple times, but even then her behavior would only change for a few weeks and then she'd slowly start the process again. Anyways, my husband proposed early last year and we got married 6 months later at a beautiful vineyard with my dream dress. The entire day was perfect until she made her speech, which she started off with, "She's not the woman I had in mind, but she's the woman he loves." In contrast to my mom's speech that was about how happy I am and how she cries happy tears every night because I found true love. Her speech ruined my whole night, but when my husband confronted her after our honeymoon, she apologized over the phone and sent flowers to our house. 3 months ago, I found out I was pregnant and I'm so excited for this chapter in my life. My husband has always wanted to be a father, so he's already begun buying baby stuff and sending me pictures of what he wants the nursery to look like. We told his family over their bi-weekly family dinner last week, and while everyone seemed happy we all held our breath to wait on his mother's reaction. She played the happy grandmother-to-be facade, but 2 days ago his brother's wife that I'm close to sent me the messages that another brother's wife had sent her of my MIL stating that she's disappointed in him and that now I'm stuck in their family. I almost cried but didn't because while I was disappointed, I wasn't surprised. I told my husband about it and he's already confronted her about it and she's once again apologized. My husband and I agreed that if we hear anything else from her against my pregnancy then we'd go no contact, but as my husband is oldest we'll be giving her the first grandchild and starting the newest generation of their immediate family. After telling my Sael about our decision she said that I should distance myself, but keeping a grandchild from her might not go over well, but both me and my husband have already agreed, but now AITA since she already apologized. AITA has no consensus bot, OOP was NTA. Relevant/top comments. Commenter 1 *NTA check with a lawyer about parental versus grandparents rights in your local jurisdiction. If there are no grandparent rights she can sue for, prep to block her and anyone else that she sends your info to. Be prepared on both of you. Make sure there is nothing she can do to you or your children. And GT, OOP *. Fortunately, we live in Florida, so according to my Google searches, that you gave me the idea for, she can only really do anything if we're unfit or absent, if I'm reading it correctly OFC. Commenter 2 *NTA she made a meaningless apology and has continued to badmouth you to the rest of the family. Restricting her access to your child is the way to go. Your mother-in-law is a toxic in-law to you. Read the book by Susan Forward, and your husband might want to read her book about toxic parents too. You only have to read a few stories in Just No Mill to understand how damaging a MIL like this can be to a child. Since you and your husband are on the same page here, you may want to spend some time with a therapist to help you with your strategy to avoid having her as a malevolent influence in your lives. And GT, OOP *. I only feel bad because my relationship with my grandmother really shaped me even when she and my mother weren't on the same page all the time, and all I want is for them to have that same relationship. Where is OOP's FIL in this whole situation? Can he intervene? ***. And GT, OOP asterisk he is, and he's a decent guy, but he's more of a happy wife, happy life type of person, so the most he does is change the subject if a joke gets too bad. Commenter 4 asterisk nope, apologies with no change in behavior means the apology was worthless. You and your husband are on the same page, so just wait for her to mess up again. I think to lower stress and enjoy this time that you should just ignore her. Literally pretend that she does not exist other unless she says hello or goodbye lol. Ignore conversations about her, don't engage and just have fun prepping for baby. And AMP, NBSP. Update, https://www.reddit.com/r/AITA/s/bbx7muj1nn August 31st, 2025, 2 days later. Update, AITA for telling my MIL that she can never see our child if she says anything against me. Hi everyone, I made my original post 2 days ago and I decided that you all needed an update. Since my post, my MIL has spoken against me again. This time she simply commented that I will be slowly killing my baby, because I told my SAL about the vaccines that the doctors recommend that I get during my pregnancy to ensure my health while my MIL was within earshot, and she decided that it'd be a good idea to gossip about me on the phone with her sister. Word got around and eventually my SAL told me what was said about me. This did hurt a bit because as a FTM I just want to do anything to help my baby. My mother wholeheartedly disagrees with her and said that she got every vaccine that was recommended when she was pregnant with both me and my siblings, and I got every vaccine growing up, including my flu shot, and I'm perfectly healthy. I told my husband about it and he officially sat his mother down today and told her what would be happening. He explained that her actions have been unacceptable for far too long and that she'd have no access to me or our baby until further notice, which means no more attending family dinners, vacations, events, etc. I told her that any information she gets about the baby will only be because I agreed to give it to her and it'll go through my husband or SAL. She did not react very well and said that we were selfish for cutting off the relationship between a child and their grandmother, as a grandmother is just as important as a mother. I reminded her that my mother is still alive and only lives an hour and a half away, so my child will still have a relationship with their grandmother. We've arrived home since the situation and my SAL told me that my MIL has already told both her and a few other family members, and while she, her husband, my husband's brother, and another SAL has attempted to defend me, it's not a lot of people in my corner. My husband's father has called him since and said that while he isn't required to always get along with his mom, we were all still family and he shouldn't take her only grandchild away from her because of a disagreement, as family argues all the time. It's very hectic at the time, but I'm sure everyone will recover. Thanks everyone for their advice and words. Relevant/top comments. OOP on her SAL's thoughts on the situation. And GT, OOP asterisk my SAL is a RN after studying nursing during college and one of her professors was a retired pediatric nurse. She has so many horror stories that her prof told her about children who came in with horrible diseases that would have been avoided with just one vaccine. She's 1000% on board with me, which is why I know that I'm not as crazy as my MIL wants it to seem. OOP shares thoughts on differing opinions regarding raising the kids in today's generation. And GT, OOP asterisk differing opinions is fine about things like whether or not a child should have an iPad, bedtimes, and clothes, but, to me, vaccines aren't a agree to disagree thing, as it directly impacts the health of my baby. And even if she didn't agree with me, the reason that she was cut off was because of the fact that she quite literally said that I'm slowly killing my baby. What FTM? Editor's note, first time mother, or any type of mom wants to be told that? OOP explains the relationship between her MIL and her husband's paternal grandma. And GT, OOP asterisk the crazy part is that her MIL, God rest her soul, was her worst enemy. I only met the woman maybe once or twice and then went to her funeral just 3 weeks after my husband and I's first-year anniversary. She hated her so much that she didn't even seem remotely sad from her death and just stroked her husband's hair as he cried. They had a family meeting at Granny's house after the funeral, and when everyone was sharing moments, she had nothing nice to say other than the basics. Generational trauma, I guess. Commenter asterisk a grandmother is just as important as a mother. Not at all. Good grandparents are a bonus. Bad grandparents are how generational trauma is passed on. You are not keeping your child away from her. You are protecting your child from her. Glad you and husband are on the same page. And AMP, NBSP. Do not comment in linked posts or message OOPs, BORU rule #7. This is a repost sub, I am not OOP.